Well, since I just reviewed Skyscraper, the most recent Die Hard knockoff, I figured, no better time than now. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another Sunday Fun Day. For today, I'll be going back to a segment I did before, and that is the segment of an easy fix. For today, I will be fixing the Die Hard franchise. So first and foremost is obviously the original Die Hard from 1988, directed by John McTiernan and starring Bruce Willis. What is there left to say about these movies, guys? It is beyond iconic. Definitely the best cop movie of all time. Possibly even the best action movie of all time.
Die Hard is the best cop movie of all time.
Yes, Peralta, I know. We've had this discussion
One cop
before.
heroically saving the day while everyone else stands around and
Okay, I
watches.
understand. Yes, I agree. Die Hard, greatest cop movie of all time. Can I get back to my... Thank you. I will do that. Thank you. But yeah, guys, like, it's just so gritty. It was so different for that time. There's just one man, one average Joe on his own in a hotel. Terrorists take over, and he's just, like I said, he's on his own. He's got nothing. No backup. No one's coming to help him. He has to do this by himself. One man taking down terrorists one by one in an enclosed space. That is Die Hard. It is action-packed. It is claustrophobic, and Bruce Willis as John McClane is one of the best action heroes in film history. He is just a man without a plan, but in the most glorious way. He really does wing it. Like, he has many plans throughout, but he's just so recklessly brilliant. I don't know how else to describe it. He's there spitting out one-liners left, right, and center, and he's just kind of a damaged man. He's, troubles with his wife. But like I said, he's just this average Joe who found himself in this, extraordinary situation that's not so extraordinary, right? Just like the worst possible situation you could ever be in, where there's innocent lives at stake, and he takes action, and he thrives, and he succeeds. So many iconic moments in this movie, and it's all thanks to Bruce Willis, and of course his famous line, the yippee-ki-yay, you know the rest, that I can't say. But yeah, like, there's nothing to not love about the first Die Hard movie. Then you get to number 2, in which they switched directors. So John McTiernan did not come back from the sequel. Bruce Willis did, however. This one was kind of just a run-of-the-mill sequel. It was more of the same, just bigger. It was in an airport, and there was kind of like, I guess, like a bigger crew, airplane crashes, things like that, right? Yeah, it's basically more of the same thing, except you get a bit of, bad guy naked yoga in this one for some odd reason. Other than that, you still have the same John McClane though, right? Regular average Joe in an extraordinary situation. 2 times in a row, apparently. This guy just has like the worst possible luck, but like I said, this time instead of being in a hotel, he's at an airport. More of the same, still a relatively enjoyable film. Then we reach Die Hard with a Vengeance, and this one was the first step away from the traditional Die Hard. It's more of an action movie overall, yet still incredibly enjoyable. John McTiernan came back once again, Bruce Willis once again, and this time they added Samuel L. Jackson, who definitely spiced up this film and made it what it was. If you just threw pretty much anyone else in Sam Jackson's spot, would not have been the same. No one in the world has the same flair as Samuel L. Jackson. He elevates every movie he's in because he's in it. He's Sam Jackson. Jeremy Irons comes in to play Hans Gruber's brother, and he does a great job too, so you have a great villain, but the difference is it's not as much of a traditional Die Hard. There's no enclosed space this time. Instead, it's more of a cat and mouse game, and Jeremy Irons is placing bombs all around the city and basically making Sam Jackson, Bruce Willis, run around doing crazy stuff, or he's going to blow stuff up. So it was a step away, but it was still a really enjoyable film. And the thing I like about this movie is that Bruce Willis was targeted on purpose this time. Of course, from the events of the first one, which I won't spoil, but yes, it is Hans Gruber's brother, so, he may or may not want to exact some sort of revenge for the events of the first film. But yeah, I like that it wasn't like 3 times in a row, this guy just found himself in probably the worst possible situation a human could ever be in. Yeah, that would be a bit ludicrous, I think. So it was nice that they made him more of a target in this movie. I enjoyed that. And then we step into Live Free or Die Hard. And the biggest change that nobody liked for this movie was that it actually went from being an R-rated franchise to a PG-13 franchise in order to up the box office. It worked in a sense, as it is currently the highest grossing movie in the franchise, so the PG-13 really didn't work all that much. It gave them a bit more money, but I think more so than anything, it kind of just pissed fans off because they didn't even get the iconic saying of the yippee-ki-yay, bleepy bleeper. This one also did take a turn. Now, I will admit, I actually enjoy Live Free or Die Hard, but as a generic, just kind of fun, throwaway action movie, to me, it isn't a Die Hard movie, really. Besides the fact that Bruce Willis is in it, and he plays by the name John McClane, it's PG-13. That's not Die Hard. Like, there's no enclosed space. Well, actually, there is a little bit in the first half of the last act. But yeah, it's just a generic action movie with a bunch of like hacking going on, and I'm not even gonna get started on the hacking. I hate the 2-second hacks that happen in the movie. Just oh yeah, I hacked into the Pentagon. That happens a lot in this movie. The most ridiculous hacking I've probably ever seen in a movie happens in this one, but that's a topic for another day. And this is where I think the biggest problem started with this movie. There were hints and bits and pieces of it in the last movie. The first one, you get to see a bit more of a vulnerable John McClane, right? He's walking on the broken glass, he gets beat up in the fights, he shows his wounds, right? He's bleeding, he is bloody, he gets weaker and weaker with every encounter. That shows through the first movie, and even the second and third a little bit too. But as the series progressed on, you started to get more and more of something I like to call the Invincible John. And this movie shows it full-fledged in all of its glory. John McClane is effectively invincible, unkillable. This one too also took away the targeting in this, as John McClane just, routinely is going to pick up some hacker dude to take in for questioning, but instead he gets himself wrapped up in this entire thing, and of course, yes, again, he just has the worst luck in the world apparently, that he gets roped into the heart of this conflict somehow. It went full-blown action movie and just went completely nonsensical and made an invincible John McClane. That is the problem that happened with the series. It wasn't the John McClane we knew and loved anymore. Although I will give Live Free or Die Hard this, it did have an unrated version that released with the DVD and the Blu-ray, in which there are about 30 F-bombs added back in, so it made it a little more of a Die Hard movie. Gave us a little bit of the John McClane we know and love back, but before that, right, like this movie took away his vulnerability, this movie took away the bare bones, because he had everything at his disposal, any kind of weaponry he wanted, helicopters, cars, this, that, the other thing. It wasn't a Die Hard movie because it wasn't in enclosed space, and it wasn't even John McClane because he couldn't spit off his F-bomb and one-liners. At least Live Free or Die Hard's unrated version gave back some of the F-bombs. And now we are on to A Good Day to Die Hard, the most recent entry, released in 2013. I don't know if you can see the fire in my eyes, but believe me, it is there for this movie. I hated this movie. If you even attempt to watch the first Die Hard and then watch A Good Day to Die Hard, the soul-crushing experience that you will feel is unlike anything words can describe. It is such a fall from grace to go from point A to point B. It is sad. A Good Day to Die Hard takes everything you loved and just throws it out the window. John McClane is no longer an average everyday guy. He is literally just this indestructible killing machine. He literally just wants to, in his own words, kill scumbags in this one. They made this one R-rated again because I felt like I guess they thought that that would fix the problem, but no, the problem was with that you took John McClane away. You took what we loved about this average everyday cop away from us. You tried to give him his F-bombs back, and it did not make a difference. He wanted to kill guys just to kill guys, not to save people, not because he had to, but just because he wanted to. And again, he's invincible. He's literally jumping out windows. He's driving trucks out of the back of helicopters. He's surviving explosions. He's being shot. He's getting his head beat in. He survives all of this crazy, over-the-top crap. And it makes no sense whatsoever. And especially at his age, there's no way a guy like that, and after all the trauma he's experienced from the other movies, that he would ever be in this sort of shape. It makes no sense whatsoever. A lot of people point to Jai Courtney to blame for this movie. He definitely wasn't good. He was pretty much downright horrible, but just the whole movie was just horrible. And the best part is that it's the first one that doesn't take place in America, and right as soon as Bruce Willis gets to this foreign country, he just has guns. He just starts, knocking people off the road, random civilians, punches a Russian dude in the face because he can't understand him. Like, it's not John McClane. He's just goes to Russia and becomes this total destructive asshole. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. That is not the cop that we know and love. That is not John McClane from the first movie. I do not care what you say. They ruined this character with the fourth and fifth movies. Now we come to where the fixing is and how they can fix this franchise. And it's with one last final single movie. The inevitable Die Hard 6, and what they should do with this movie to make it a success and to make it an amazing, incredible, final, closing chapter to the Die Hard franchise. Plain and simple. Right now, currently, the rumored plans for the final Die Hard film, or another one at least, is called Die Hard Year One, in which it will flip back and forth between Bruce Willis in our current day and I don't know whether they're going to do CGI Bruce Willis or a different actor in the past before the events of the first movie. First and foremost, Don't do that. Do not make a prequel. They do not work. Name like literally one prequel that works. I mean, you look at like the Hannibal Lecter movies from Silence of the Lambs, the prequels. Some people might like those. I don't think any of them are good. Or you look at something like the Taken TV series, in which they tried to take Liam Neeson's character before the Taken movies, put him in a TV show as a prequel, didn't work. You look at almost anything in which they take a beloved character and try to make a prequel out of it, it just simply doesn't work. Don't do it. No one wants to see it. And the same thing, it takes away, again, from bits and pieces of the first movie. Because the thing about the first movie was that, like I said, it was just completely random. John McClane had never experienced something like this. So if you make this big, just lustrous action movie that's supposed to take place before the first one, then it takes away from the first one. Because you're like, well, John McClane went through all this like crazy shit before the first one. How is he not prepared? You know, he's not an average everyday cop anymore. He's a badass action hero before the first movie even starts. Don't do it. Completely scrap that shit. Scrap that idea. Throw it out the window. Go with this. They have to make a Logan/Rambo style film in which the character that we've known and loved for many years has seen a very good franchise for the most part, and you have to do this sort of film, a dark, gritty, very hard R-rated film in which it is his final outing. The main thing about this movie is that what the other two movies did very effectively is you have to show Bruce Willis's age. Do not make him invincible. You have to once again make him vulnerable. You have to make him old. You have to make him weary. You have to show his age and show that he is weakened. He is a wounded dog. And honestly, even to top that up after all the invincible shit that he's gone through in the other movies, I feel like they have to go that extra mile and just give him something that makes him even more wounded. Now, whether that's something like, I don't know, PTSD from all the shit that he's seen, or something that maybe some sort of heart condition, or like, I don't know, something, give him like a broken leg, or give him like, I don't know, forms of dementia, Alzheimer's, maybe he has blackouts, give him friggin' diabetes for all I care. Something. Like in Rambo, he's just secluded, he's away from the world, he can't live with people anymore, he can't live in civil society, so he moves himself away and he says he's done. He doesn't have that life anymore, he doesn't do that anymore, forced back into action. You look at Logan, he's just a limo driver now, he's just trying to save up, get a boat, go out on his own. Doesn't hurt people anymore, he is not the Wolverine anymore, and his healing powers don't even work all that much anymore. Made for amazing movies. That's what you have to do. Since he's not a mutant, nor did he have, like, you know, this whole Vietnam War thing, you have to make John McClane wounded, you have to make him old, you have to give something for the audience to relate to, something that makes the audience's heart skip a beat, because this should be the final Die Hard. Whether he dies or not is up to the writer-director, but you have to give us something extra. And the last three things that have to make this the final epic Die Hard and can make it a fantastic ending film for Bruce Willis's John McClane: bring him back to his roots. Bring him back to an enclosed space. Not only that, because there's no way that this guy can have that crazy of luck, you have to make him a target again. Make it some form of relation from a past movie, make it something about his kid, something about somewhere down the line that's connected to make us, again, feel at home. And then, this is going to be the hardest part, because this is just a huge problem in Hollywood apparently with all action franchises. The problem is the villain. You have to hire somebody to be a great villain. Someone has to come back into this franchise and put new life into it and be a phenomenal villain. And that, to me, folks, would make a perfect Die Hard 6. Then that's it. Don't make any more Die Hard movies. You give us the John McClane we know and love back. You give us this epic, dark, gritty final outing as John McClane, and that's it. Wrap it up there. Epic conclusion. This franchise is saved. You have the first three, 4 and 5 if you want to, and then the epic final 6th one. Like with Logan, like with Rambo, end it with a bang. So guys, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know, do you agree with my thoughts? And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap.